Hello and welcome to the Boise State Esports Arena. We're getting geared up and ready for PEC Spring Week 4. So join us as we'll be all gas, no brakes. It's time for Rocket League. Doing battle today, second place and hungry for more, our very own Boise State University Broncos will go head-to-head with the fifth place University of Kansas Jayhawks. The stakes keep getting higher. We have 4 more games left for the Broncos, so every win matters on the road to playoffs. For the casting desk, my name is Eric Desarux Beltran. I'm joined by none other than the man who lives, eats, and breathes Rocket League. It's Danner Hill. I mean, you're going from this last weekend coaching to now back on the broadcast here at Collegiate.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a different shift from coaching to casting, but it's all the same when all you do is live, breathe, and just speak Rocket League. I mean, I'm a Rocket League fanatic, as I call myself.
Yeah, I saw the socials, man.
I can never get enough of it. It's so good.
Well, before we hop into the games, we would like to let you know that we have our own social media page. Not enough Rocket League in your life? Turn that around by scanning that QR code on the screen right there or looking up Boise State RL on Instagram and X for all things Boise State Rocket League. We'll have schedules, we'll have updates, we'll have highlights and more. And again, that is Boise State RL. Head there, give us a follow. Danner, you follow us?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I?
Well, we got to do a quick little recap about what happened last week. The game against Baylor, pretty intense.
Absolutely intense. 4 games total. The only one that was considered a quote-unquote blowout was this first game where Baylor took it 3-1. Everything besides that was a 1-goal exchange, including Game 2, where the Broncos took it 2-1 in overtime as we look towards this amazing goal from Woozy from the sidewall. Flipper set over Andy into the bump onto Hoxer. Going to secure Game 2. The Broncos tie the series 1-1 as they go on to the next 2 games. It will go in the favor of Baylor in 3-2 and 2-1 fashion. Baylor still looking strong and why they are on the top, but nothing to disregard at as the Broncos were able to put on quite a spectacle. I mean, the total goal differential here was 9-6. Fairly close all around. Shots were off the charts. Boise State with 32 shots, Baylor with 42. Almost 100 combined shots over the series.
That leaves Baylor undefeated in the season. Boise State still showing to be their toughest competition, following right behind them. Our old rivals, Michigan State, taking 3rd place, and a pretty revitalized Syracuse closing out the top 4. But we got to talk about what's here in Week 4 of PEC Spring, as we have some pretty solid matchups lined up. There's a big match film. Michigan State look to take their shot against the Baylor Bears. Nebraska will look to upset a Syracuse team that has yet to take a spring loss. We have a showdown for late season runs. Minnesota and Utah will fight it out. And of course, the match on the broadcast before you, the Broncos versus the Jayhawks. This right here, this is one of the final 4 games that we have for this season.
This is pretty much marking our halfway point of the season, pretty much. So we'll have Kansas, we'll have Minnesota, we'll have Syracuse, and then Ohio State to end it off.
So pulling up the rosters right now, we got Cade Hall, Emiliano Flores, Preston Ferrante, and Coach Waiton to close it out right there. Solid roster that's always been doing so much work, Danner.
Yeah, and for the side of Kansas, we're going to have Kyle Maddox, Stuve, and Landon Swift.
Interesting. We got the double up of Maddox right
Double up of Maddox, last and first name.
Well, if you want to win at Rocket League, you got to follow one thing, and that is going to be Doc's keys to the game in Rocket League. Sweaty comms, play to follow up, sweaty comms, and respect Rule 1.
Always got to have sweaty comms.
I especially like the Rule 1. We did see a demonstration of that not too long ago, you know?
We did. Rule 1s are always fun when it's respected in the lobby. Like, they lock cars, and everyone's like, all right, this is agreement now. We are not playing 2v2 until the next score is scored or someone gets demoed.
Again, shout out to Blue Ribbon Painting with over 90 years of combined experience. They are proud to be Boise's go-to team for local multi-generational painters who know how to level up your home. Doc's Keys to the Game brought to you by that. Visit blueribbonpainting.com. But we got to talk about this matchup coming up right now. Broncos Jayhawks. Now, Jayhawks are sitting somewhere in the middle of the pack. Broncos, it's kind of been a little bit rough for the start of the season, so they're looking to bounce back and gain momentum once again.
Now, I don't know if I'd use the term rough because we did have our first 2 weeks, Nebraska and Utah State, or no, the University of Utah, back-to-back, both of them 3-0s, great start to the season, and then we come into Michigan State the following week. We take that one all the way to Game 5, unfortunate loss there, and then with Baylor on the horizon, like we were just talking about, a great 3-1 series overall, and now coming into this week, and especially next week as well, Minnesota is going to be that section of bouncing back and getting ourselves back on the board.
And this is against Kansas. You know, as you were saying, that's scheduled to kind of round things out, right? Kansas into Minnesota.
Yeah.
Then we'll have Syracuse. It's a good amount of time to kind of work your way up back the ladder before you get Syracuse, who've been looking pretty revitalized on the season. So I do think this is a good place for the Broncos to be.
Absolutely, and you want to be taking these 2 weeks because, as we saw a few weeks ago, Syracuse was able to take a entire series off of Michigan State in a 3-0 bout, and that was very surprising.
We're freaking out about it.
We were kind of thinking about it. We're like, 3-0? Like, what do you mean? Like, was it like misinput? And then we watched the VOD back, and we're like, oh no, that was a 3-0.
Yeah.
And looking at that, it's kind of like what you're talking about. It's a revitalize. It's what they've been needing, especially after last season. They kind of held that fourth place spot down, and now they're looking to top off, especially against Michigan State. Everyone between the second and third and fourth place, all of them, it's 9-3, 8-3, 7-3, I believe. Yeah. It is fairly close all around. Wins can decide anything. So I think Syracuse, they're going to be looking for everything, and going against Boise State, that's going to be their next big hump to try and, top that off and see if they can get a win there.
And that's not to count out the Jayhawks whatsoever.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, you do have to respect every opponent you go against. I always like to quote a lot of the player interviews that we have because it shows the mentality that they have going against teams that are seen below them. Even though they're seen below you, they're still giving 100%, and they do have that potential to upset. So you still have to give your 110.
Oh, absolutely. Because you look at the standings, that can tell you one thing. But looking at the players and how they go at it with the mentality each week is something else. And I think for the sake of the Jayhawks here, that's what they have to focus on. It's the mentality going into this week. Sure, you're facing the number 2 team of Boise State, but you also got to look. These past 2 weeks, they've fallen twice in a row. And now you're thinking to yourself, well, maybe this is something good.
Yeah, maybe they're wounded.
Maybe. But knowing the Broncos, they don't slouch for too long. They are right back up, and they are back on the grind, back ready to go. And I think they're going to be looking to pretty much repeat what happened last semester in the fall when they played Kansas. It was a total of 10-2 in terms of goals in favor of Boise State, taking it 3-0. They had them pretty well handled, so I'm curious to see if anything will change today.
Well, Danner, you are the stats guy. You love it. You breathe it, you live it, all that Rocket League, it belongs to you. So talk to me about these stats coming into this game. Out of our players over here in Boise State, who's been looking to step up and kind of lead some of our matches?
I think whenever you talk Boise State and goals and stats, it's always Durtho. He's their highlight man. But I really have been liking to see Woozy and Preston step up. Woozy in particular, he's been doing great. You saw him earlier in that Baylor recap, get that overtime winner, flip reset over one, bump into another. He's been doing individually outstanding. Preston as well.
Preston's been stepping up quite a bit.
He's been doing phenomenal. Yeah. If I just look back at that Baylor game real quick, if I look at Preston's stats, he was able to get 2 assists and 2 goals so he was able to get 4 out of the 6 goals, able to get some good goal participation there. Yeah. Durtho able to get 3 goals and an assist as well in that series. Both of them doing phenomenal, and I like how Preston's been doing. And as we look back at fall as well, against Kansas, Preston was the man of the hour, able to get 70% goal participation with 6 goals and an assist out of the 10 that Boise State scored.
I mean, that's what I really do like about Preston. I know we highlight Durtho. I know we highlight Woozy quite a bit. Preston gets a little bit overlooked more because he tends to be that defensive powerhouse. He's the one who finds a lot of blocks, a lot of saves for our squad. But sometimes when you do see him play up, he's capable of getting the ball in the net.
Yeah, and that's what Doc's been able to build here. Like, you get each player to fill each role, but even then in Rocket League, there's no roles. It's constant rotations, and having all 3 players be at the same level of mechanics and intelligence, it equates to something that can lead to almost a surprise sometimes, where it's like, once again, Dirtho, he's like our leading man. He's our goal scorer. He's the one that has he can have a highlight clip of like 3 hours long. It would never end. But then you have guys like Preston coming in, and he can pop off at any moment. We've seen him, even just this year, get outstanding goals to solidify games, and he's been doing phenomenal. It's been awesome to see him step up, and I'm sure it'll be nothing different tonight.
And talking to Dirtho in particular, I had a little chat with him before we actually got ready for this game. I can tell his mind is set on playoffs and making it onto the live stage for PEC. That's one of the big ones for him. So what I'm seeing is far away from what we had during like the Michigan game that we had earlier, where things did get a little bit tense, right? So knowing that they're able to find that mental reset, that clarity, when you start to feel better, you start to play better, and that's a good sign for me.
Another thing, focusing on playoffs and Vegas for PEC, I think that's what they need, because for this Boise State roster, LAN in front of a crowd, from what I've seen at least over the past couple of years, is the best place for them. That's where they play at their peak. Yeah. And we saw that last year when both fall and spring they fell to Michigan State both times around. I think one of them was a 3-0 and another one was a 3-1.
But what happened on the live stage?
But what happened on live stage changed everything. Grand finals of Vegas, and they came out. It was insane. I think it was like a 4-0, 4-1 exchange. Boise State taking it, granting themselves the first ever PEC championship title. And now, as reigning champs, they're looking to defend that. But it is definitely a more stacked event coming into this year, now with Baylor, an upgraded Michigan State, and even Syracuse coming in.
Yeah. I mean, that's it's an incredible thing about playing at some of these lands. Sometimes it's not just the fact that, hey, you're playing a high-level Rocket League against another high-level team. Sometimes it's the energy factor that you get from the crowd being there. I know one of the things that in that conversation I had with Dirtho, he mentioned that, like, hey, there were a lot of his friends there that came to watch, and that was some of the stuff that tried to, not just lower down those nerves, but kind of put him into that flow state to perform better.
Absolutely. It's when you get into that flow state, when you are so focused on the game that you don't think of anything else, you drown out the crowd, everything goes silent, and you start peaking. It's the best feeling.
You're like that Ultra Instinct Goku.
You're quote unquote just locking in. You can't even do anything. Half the time your teammates are like, "Hey, talk, do something," because like you go silent. And you're just doing everything. But that's not a problem for these players. They can get into that flow state, continue to play the best that they can, and still show up and show out like always.
So we are now ready for game number 1.
Oh, we're not ready.
On the board. We're going.
We were talking about him, and he's going to show up and show out. 1, 2, 3, passing play. Oh, he just stole it.
Oh.
That was supposed to be Woozy's goal. Preston said, no, this one's going to be mine. He heard. And now he's going to take the first as this one gets sent all the way downfield. Woozy able to chase that one down. Swift with a good carry. Preston able to try to go low underneath Meave. Woozy diving in on this one from the ceiling. Now trying to chase this one down. No boost, though. Isn't going to get too far as now Kansas are going to be looking for an offense.
Just padding those stats right there, but there we go. Coming out from the opposite end, taking it to the corner. Apparent. I was looking for a shot. Not going to really find too much right there. Neve, wrong direction. That sets up Boise, but Apparent. Beautiful save to come through.
Now, as I'm looking at this, Swift and Meave were here last semester. Apparent is the new player on the block for the side of Kansas. But now Preston, double reset. Going to be saved out by Meave. Woozy opting to get that corner boost instead, trying to starve out Kansas. Preston able to get a demo on the back end. And Dirtho going to get it to the corner to Preston. They're going to continue to work their way downfield as we just crossed the minute mark. 1-0 for Boise State.
Oh, but maybe 2! There it is! Oh my goodness, trying to defend, but there's no other direction that ball could have went.
Woozy made up for it. he got his goal taken early. He's going to get one back, putting Boise State up 2-0 with just a dominant 50 right there in the corner. No one can get past him as we go on to the next kickoff. A little bit of a fake action. Meave now, quarter tanker boost, has to get a flick over one. Top right corner. And he's going to secure one for Kansas.
Yeah, that wasn't bad off of the kickoff. You can see the double fake coming through. That leaves Neve open to just try and send that ball through. No one in position, on Boise's side to try and block that through. It's still Boise State who will have the lead.
Still the lead, but now looking for a counterattack goal, get themselves that 2-goal lead, which is a pretty comfortable position. Now this one going to the midfield, saved out by Woozy, and this one ringing off the post. Preston able to just collect it. No follow-up out of Kansas leads them to still be in a deficit now. 3.5 minutes remaining. Woozy has to dive onto this first 50, and it's going to be left for Durtho to the sidewall, looking to try to get a second one. 50'd out by Neve. Should be a free ball for Preston with the boost that he had. Late flip reset is going to be shut out by Apparent, and now to the ceiling is Durtho. Flip reset in the back pocket. Ooh. It's going to be dealt with by Swift and the effects of Neve as well.
Oh, looking for the double tap, not going to find it. This is why you got to give respect to some of these middle-of-the-pack teams. Seems like the Jayhawks doing good very early on. They've had many opportunities to go for shots. Meave going to find his block now, going up high. Over the top it goes. Be misdirected now, sent in a different direction. Durtho receiving the pass. Swift will intercept that, send that straight up as another demo is going to be found. No, that's actually a disconnect. Uzi, we should be able to get him back in soon, but that leaves an open net. Preston, quick for the save.
Quick for the save, and now it's a 2v3 situation here. Preston and Durtho have to hold down the fort for 2.5 minutes or until Woozy can get back into the game. Meave with a good clear downfield. Durtho! Shot onto net is going to be saved out by Apparent. Preston now having to push down the pressure, able to get around 1, maybe 2. No, Meave sending it downfield. Durtho surely going to be playing time, leaving it for Swift to make the initial 50. Gets demoed, and now it's a 1v3 for Preston.
Now going for the shot, it's going to be Meave. Preston going up, looking for the defense, finds the block, sends it into the corner, but Apparent is there to pinch it back. Now Preston on the aerial. Meave has the read, so Durtho trying to be faster for the punch. Meave still gets through. Preston, he gets the block again. From corner to corner, this ball keeps going, but without Woozy, it's hard for the Broncos to make a offense.
Hard to make an offense, but as long as they can hold down defense, that's all that matters. Already burning off a minute on the clock. Swift getting that one down into the hands of Durtho. Should be able to grab that corner boost as well. Flip reset for Meave, able to go up, but a full boost is going to be able to start some sort of counterattack as this one rolls off the wall. No boost for Durtho going forward, just one off the ceiling with a flip. Preston looking to get that one going just a little bit longer, burning as much time as possible. This one downfield for Swift.
This is rough. 2 versus 3. Broncos are still holding on. And right here, this might be the opportunity Meave needs, but so quick to the punch are the Broncos, not allowing that to go through. Meave holding the ball center field, gets past Preston. Durtho on the back pocket, will send it over into the corner. Doesn't find the double tap, ball still on target, but not going to be the way he wants to get it to go, as now Preston on defense finds the corner. Meave is there. Now Preston looking to read which direction Meave is going to go. Durtho is there, sends it over. It would have been on target, but quick is the assault from the Jayhawks.
This is just a great defensive showing. Boise State holding down the fort. Preston maybe a solo play all the way downfield, but a follow-up and a Durtho shot! Ringing off the crossbar with a little bit of boost left, trying to fight Swift for the goal. Apparent no contacts, has to leave it for Meave now. A little bit of boost in his back pocket. We saw him do a flick earlier and get a goal, but saved out by Durtho. Now 20 seconds left. Boise State, a 2v3 defensive hold, keeping Kansas out of the way. Maybe this is going to be the last effort for Kansas. A demo comes out for Preston, leaving it in the 2v2 for a couple of seconds, burning off time. And now with 3 seconds ringing, this one, all it needs to do is touch the ground, and Boise State have game 1.
In a 2 versus 3, it's going down quickly. It's going to spike, and just like that, 2-1, even with the issues, they will fight through and take game 1.
Beautiful defense out of Boise State. Way to hold on, get yourselves the game 1 win, and now as we resolve some of these tech issues, we will get Woozy back and in for game 2.
We want to give thanks to ICCU for their continued support of Boise State Esports. Thanks to ICCU, Boise State Esports has won multiple national championships and piled up more than 1,500 wins. ICCU, looking after your daily balance, visit iccu.com. Now, we did get some information that unfortunately there was a PC issue, and Woozy is now switching PCs, so we will have him back in the game pretty soon.
That is good to know.
But even in a 2v3.
Even in a 2v3, Preston and Durtho able to hold down the line, hold down the fort.
I'm so impressed.
Oh, I mean, honestly, I'm impressed, but at the same time, it's it's what I'm expecting out of these players. That's the level that these players, that's the standard I hold them at, being able to hold down a 2v3 at such a high level. They can do that. And even put on pressure. You saw that they were able to get down to the Kansas.
They were so close.
They were able to get down to the Kansas half. Preston almost getting a 1v3 out of the way, but an unfortunate 50 is going to go out of that. But as we continue, game 2, looking ahead here, it's still going to be a man disadvantage for Boise State, but I still don't think that can be a problem here. I still think that they can create opportunities if coordinated correctly.
They've shown the ability to do that already, so I have no doubt in my mind. I echoed those thoughts completely, Danner. This team, the caliber of player that we have, Preston already a defensive powerhouse, but Durtho forced to go back and play that defense alongside him, denying so many attempts coming out from the Jayhawks. It was a thing of beauty to see. Luckily they were able to get that point lead and we didn't have to go into overtime. Yeah. But hey, that shows you the talent that they have.
Yeah, that's just how we roll around here at Boise State. We adapt, improvise, and overcome. Things, It's Bronco things. Blue turf mentality over here. And that mentality is to win games regardless of the situation. And right now, they are going to be adapting fairly well to that.
Yeah, looks like Woozy setting up there.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to try to be quick about this, see if we can get him back in the game before game 2 so we don't have to deal with that 2v3.
And it is a best of 5, so Broncos already being just a slight lead ahead. Already taking that game 1. Going to feel really good about that. But it'd feel even better if you did have your third man to continue that momentum. That pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. Kind of need your clutch factor here. 2v3, I mean, as you saw, it's doable, but after so long, it can get really rough in terms of endurance and stamina.
Every player has to be everywhere.
The other big thing is the boost management. As good as these players are, it can get starved out really quick if you don't get a good clear downfield. Try to grab some pennies, some 100 boosts. It can get rough, but by the looks of it, he looks to be getting back into the game. Yeah. So should be in just shortly as we move on to Forbidden Temple.
I will say it was a decent look from the Jayhawks, right? They were able to take advantage of the kickoff that we had earlier and get a pretty easy open net goal to go through. I think they made some solid attempts at goals, and even when we still had Woozy, they had very good defensive play to not make this just a complete blowout.
Yeah, actually, Kansas showed up for sure, and I wouldn't even call that an open net. Meave just had a great sense of control off the kickoff, great flick to the top right corner, Woozy in an awkward position. It's just playmaking like that that's going to get Kansas far, and I think getting an initial goal off of Boise is going to be good. I mean, you kept him down 2-1 in the first game. Granted, it was a 2v3, but still, this is what you want to be seeing, and they were able to sustain offense. That can give them some motivation here, but hopefully they can keep that up. We still have 2 games at the minimum to be played. Hopefully Kansas can kind of, like we were talking about earlier, it's a mindset.
Yeah. Now we are back into game. We got Woozy back.
Let's go.
So we are ready for 3v3 Rocket League action. Broncos now, Apparent has a shot, and just like that, it's going to go in.
Just like that, it goes in. Meave getting a beat out of Preston. Durtho kind of getting chased down by Apparent, not able to reach it. Has to rotate really far to that post. And now Kansas is going to lead with the first goal 6 seconds into the game. Boise State looking to counter back, but Woozy not able to get it initially. Maybe a follow-up out of Preston.
All right, Preston going
but it leaves it for Durtho!
Over the top. You want to even up this game. The Broncos will do it in a heartbeat.
You see how Preston just leaves it? He calls Durtho in and says, hey, come and get this.
That is some beautiful teamwork coming out from the Broncos. On a side note, by the way, I'm going to say I feel like Kansas played better in the 3v2 than they do the 2v3, but that's a different situation now. Flip reset coming out from Durtho. Apparent is there to find safe.
Preston trying to get one out to the midfield for Woozy, but with a little boost isn't going to be able to do it. Swift now to the backboard, leaves it for Durtho, and a lot of time on his side to be able to play around a few. Meave not falling for any sort of fake out plays, should be able to take control out of the backboard here for the side of Kansas. Great 50 out of Woozy. He's going to keep it into the midfield, looking for the next player. Apparent sends it to the corner. Kansas with another opportunity, but now Durtho We've seen what he can do before. Lets it carry all the way for Dirt. Oh, for Woozy, though, in a pass. Barely saved out by Meave. Great stuff out of him. And now it's going to go for the side of Meave on the other end. From downtown. Still within a minute of this game, we have 3 goals.
The Jayhawks are definitely punching up right here. They're giving the Broncos a run for their money. A lot of this coming out through some brilliant teamwork, especially in that last goal. But with 4 minutes left on the clock, this is still anyone's game, and the Broncos are going to fight back. You know it.
Swift now into the midfield for Meave. Able to get a slight bump on it is Preston. Now Woozy able to get around another. Maybe he's going to solo the whole team, apparent, with a great 50. That one just going wide. Meave getting chased down by Dirtho, forcing that ball into the sidewall. Preston should be able to make an initial touch and a follow. Looking to get a flip down to the midfield. Meave already ready for that one. Dirtho now with an awkward touch into the midfield. Woozy shot onto net. Quick double tap out of Swift, able to keep it out. Meave just has to force this one up and out to the backboard before he can get it cleared for the side of Kansas. Now to the sidewall. Double tap out of Swift is going to send it downfield. Boise State need to recover and get themselves back onto offense as Dirtho gets demoed.
Yeah, but still driving the ball forward. Preston goes for the pinch. Doesn't have the right angle for it. Meave taking it on the aerial. Woozy steals it away. Looking for the pass over to Preston. It is clean. It is snappy. It is a tie game as the Broncos fight back.
That situation is lethal here. Apparent doesn't know who's going to shoot that ball. He can see Preston diving in, but who knows? Maybe Preston calls it off when Woozy takes a shot to the far right. You never know. Great play out of Boise State to tie the game. Now 3 minutes remaining. Kansas with a great showing of offensive power. Now they need to show it again as Swift gets a demo onto Woozy and onto Preston. Now Dirtho, the only one alive, has to make this 50 and does. Woozy now with a little bit of boost. Preston not able to grab that mid boost, instead leaves it, and Meave able to get another demo on this. Boise State are going through the slaughterhouse.
I kind of wonder if you coach Swift right there after I've seen some of your players in the high school league, but here we go once again. Preston looking to catch it, does not find it. It's all right, it wasn't on net. Woozy towards center field, down Meave. Fighting for it in the corner. Woozy takes the skies, looking for someone to pass to.
But maybe for Dirtho, double tap!
Dirtho with the double tap! You called it out, Danner, and it happened just as so.
I think I can predict the future. I think I've watched so much Rocket League, it just happens naturally. But it was a reactive play, bouncing off of so many players' cars. It was just left for Dirtho. He could see it in the air. Gets a beater on one who's already awkward in and of itself. Gets the double tap, puts Boise State into the lead. Now with half the game left to go. It's crazy to say that. So many goals and so many demos within half a game. Now Woozy trying to get more. Swift with the quick cutoff is going to be able to get a double tap last second. Dirtho just trying to play his time. Doesn't want to overcommit and leave Kansas with an equalizer.
See, Kansas are playing team
do it
deathmatch.
to them!
Broncos are playing Rocket League. A good attempted shot now coming in, but it will go wide. On the defense go the Broncos. Preston's already there. He takes the ball, says, give me that. Slips it right past downfield over the top of Meave. Has the pass, but no one in the back pocket just yet. Preston will still go back for the ball in center field as another demo. This one onto Woozy from Swift. Dirtho centers it up. Looking for Preston to make the shot. 50-50, not going to go anywhere else. Still centered. Woozy waiting to receive it on the opposite end. Pass back to Preston. Dirtho's in the back pocket. Preston's going to go for it on his own, but a little bit of interference, and the Jayhawks will stop it. Woozy sends it over. Preston looking to read the ball. Dirtho still there. See the Broncos not letting up on this offense. Has the pass to Preston. Not going to find the shot.
Now to the ceiling. A little bit of a pinch action. Still has his flip. Instead leaves it for Woozy. Able to secure a 4th goal for Boise State. It is nasty out of him. The fakes, the misdirection. Apparent not able to read the ball. And another goal for Boise State as they look to close out game 2 and put themselves onto match point. A minute remaining until then.
I got to say, this is some gorgeous team play that we're seeing out of the Broncos. A lot of these goals.
But maybe another!
Plays just like that!
He's pre-jumping from downfield. He's on the ceiling. Meave doesn't even realize it until it's too late. It's already in your net.
Play. That was crazy. Off of kickoff, I felt like that play was already in motion.
They probably practiced that one a few times.
Yeah. All right, now here we go. On the kickoff, 1 minute remaining. Dirtho wants to keep adding to the stats. Apparent gets the save. Eve looking to bump onto Woozy, but Woozy breaks through. Now looks to dunk down. Apparent gets the save, but there is Preston to ensure the goal.
Woozy almost doing it himself, looking for the double tap, but Apparent there to save it out. If he wasn't there, that was in. Preston able to get it in off the post. Now a 6-2. Shirley putting this one away. 47 seconds left and 4 goals needed for Kansas. It's not looking too great, but maybe Meave off the kickoff.
Oh, Woozy.
Oh, but instead
Woozy.
it's going to be downfield.
Ooh, Swift catching up just in time. That was getting very dangerous for the Jayhawks, but the Broncos will not let up. As they set up another shot, passing going over to Woozy. Instead it finds Dirtho. Woozy receives it on the back end. Into the corner goes. 30 seconds still left on this clock. Preston will knock it over the top, not allowing for this angle to come out from the Jayhawks. Now Preston in the corner. Be able to try and take it over with Dirtho, but a little bit of a overcommit coming through. Now a chance for the Jayhawks to get a goal. 10 seconds on the clock. It will not be on target. Instead, it's going over to the corner. Woozy playing defense. Preston going to back up for it. Knocks it away. Finds the save. And as the ball soon to hit the ground, this is a game that belongs very handedly over to the Broncos as they're looking warmed up.
I think they were warmed up about an hour ago, and they're just kind of keeping it rolling because, boy, howdy, a 6-2 in Game 2? What are we talking about?
I mean, hey, very early on, we had the Jayhawks making it look a little bit close, but once the game got rolling, man, it was all Bronco action. And we want to give thanks to our sponsor, Dairy West. Today's stream is brought to you in part by local dairy farmers and the dairy protein they produce. Thanks to them, Boise State Esports has access to next-level fueling options that keeps our players playing at their peak. Unbottled dairy protein that powers your performance. Visit unbottled.com for more info. But what a dominant display coming out from the Broncos.
And now onto match point, a situation they are very familiar with. All they need is one goal and a shutout to secure this series and get themselves another win, but I don't think that's how they're going to be rolling today.
And what an excellent game to come out from the Broncos as well. Just after everything with Baylor, you know, it was very close. They fought really hard with that. Even in that Game 4 that we had, it was so close to going into overtime, and sometimes that can weigh pretty heavily on you. We're showing right now that the Broncos have resilient mental, and they're looking to refresh, revitalize, and they're looking so good against the Jayhawks.
Absolutely. I mean, if we just take a quick look back at last semester, it was a 10-2 scoreline overall for the 3-0 series of Boise State, and now we're looking at something similar, sitting at 8-3 right now in favor of Boise State, but maybe it's one more! Almost off the kickoff. It's going to be quick. Now Swift onto the other end, looking for a flipper set. No, instead fakes it down low. Woozy able to reach it. Has to leave it for Preston, but no boost on the side of either of them. Is going to be able to get past a few. That corner boost just getting taken away. Dirtho having to get around one, maybe two.
Dirtho!
Almost get dunked on, but Swift with a miss! Swift, an unfortunate miss. And Preston able to capitalize.
Sometimes you got to play a little bit of hardball right there. That's what Dirtho does. He knocks Apparent completely out of location, and this gives an easy shot at the Broncos with the first point of Game 3.
Swift is telling him to skip the replay. He doesn't want to watch it back. Woozy now from the corner plays it around Swift. Plays a good 50 on it. Dirtho already pre-jumping. That could have been deadly. But now Meave onto the other end. Woozy, great 50 onto him. Is going to leave it for Apparent. They're trying to get a passing play started here. Swift, a little bit slow onto that. Gets bumped out of the way. So does Dirtho.
These bumps coming left, right, and center. Meave fights for control. The double tap waiting to be set up from the Jayhawks, but it's read by the Broncos. Swift fighting through. Meave finds a demo onto Dirtho. Dirtho coming off of the respawn, but the offense is still going to be attempted from Boise State. Kansas, Meave not finding his way through. Swift instead will have to catch the ball in the air. Look who he has to get through. 2 members of Boise State. Dirtho already fighting for control of that ball. See the rest now rotating through as Meave goes to take a shot, but Woozy reads it easy. Another tap coming in from Swift, but it's not going anywhere.
No, it is not, as Preston gets a very powerful flipper set down into the corner. This one almost getting an opportunity on net before Meave saves it out, and Woozy demos Apparent as Meave tries to send it up for Swift, and it's not going to go anywhere quite yet. This one's still being pretty slow on the Boise State end, able to take their time with their 50s. Swift now to the sidewall, flipper set on the ball, not going to make contact on the second touch. Boise able to get a demo downfield now. Preston from the ceiling able to get a flick on net, and it's going to be dunked on, actually. Dirtho double tap into the corner, going to keep the Boise State offense alive. Looking for the second one, tries to keep it close, but with no boost, isn't going to be able to do too much with it. Swift and now Meave able to get a little bit of boost downfield. They're already being pushed back onto the defensive front. They need to get an offense going if they want to have a chance at tying this game like they did early in game number 2.
So much demolition going in as Meave catches the ball center field. Preston sends it up. Meave still trying to fight for control. He's not allowed it. It's apparent. He's looking for the aerial now. Gets the flip reset. And Kansas are able to tie up the game, get on the board.
Woozy was there. Apparently, I'm getting the answer here. Apparently is coming in, or apparent is coming in as the sub for Kansas. And apparently apparent. And he's going to get a flipper set for Kansas here, tying up the scoreline. Dirtho pass out to the midfield. Woozy needs to take the shot. And it's going to be in. A good bump out of Dirtho is going to make sure no one can reach it. And just as fast as Boise State conceded, they're just going to score just as quick.
I see a reoccurring theme here. Every time Kansas gets a goal, that's like the switch being flipped onto the Broncos saying, we can't let them show us up. And immediately they get a goal right after.
Yeah, they know what's up as soon as they get scored on. Preston able to get a beat around 1 and the mid boost in favor. Maybe an open net also. Needs to get it on quick. Ringing off the post is going to be apparent, able to clear it out, but gets demoed in the process. Dirtho and Woozy trying to reach for this one. Preston taking it slow, looking for the backboard. Double tap is going to be saved out by Meave. Last second save out of him. 2 minutes still on the clock. Kansas fighting for their equalizer to stay alive in the series, but Dirtho is going to capitalize.
He's going to go bowling, and he is getting a strike. Look at the way this plays out. Woozy gets the 50. It sets up Dirtho for an easy shot right in the goal, and that will give the Broncos a 2-point lead.
It's the kind of lead that you want. Now, going onto the kickoff. Already lurking here on the side of Kansas. Meave and Apparent go from the sidewall into this one, sending it into the opposite end of the field. Preston not able to do too much, has to rotate out for some boost, gets the midfield, and tries to leave it for Woozy to make the initial 50. Instead, gets bumped out of the way. Preston now reset into the midfield, plays around 1, and it's going to be open! He does it all by himself and puts a 4th in for Boise State.
Preston, what was that? That was some absolute filth that I just saw. As he sends the ball in, you can see the smiles on this squad. 4-1, a minute 30 left on the clock, Danner.
Excuse my laughing. I just look at the chat and I see Dirtho say, that's our sub. Woozy now to the midfield, leaving it for Dirtho. Great control, flipper set into, actually no flipper set gained, and now Preston able to keep it into the corner and onto the side of Kansas. Parent needs to take control and get something going here. Meave to the sidewall. And leaves it for Dirtho. A little bit of a double tap is going to keep possession. Preston now looking to get something more. A musty looking for the double from Dirtho. It is nasty. 5-1 with a minute remaining. Boise State take control.
It is a work of art. Gets the tap onto the crossbar and passes it straight over to Dirtho. The Broncos 5-1 lead. They are relentless on this onslaught that they're giving the Jayhawks, and it's not over just yet.
Oh, it's
Woozy
not.
Centers it up. Dirtho's there, but not going to find his man. 1 minute still remains. Meave looking for an aerial of his own. The defense does not get found. Meave will be able to get something back for Kansas.
Well, the defense didn't get found because I think one was chasing him all the way down. You can see Dirtho meeting him in the air. And I think Preston got bumped a little bit there, and Woozy with no boost. Fortunate situation, but still a 5-2 scoreline with under a minute left for Boise State, and defense is the name of the game here. I'm not quite worried.
Is it the name of the game? Is it the name of the game? When you can just keep getting more goals, Danner. The Broncos, they just keep, I'm telling you, Kansas gets a goal, Broncos, immediately they have to do it.
I told you I wasn't worried. Regardless if they play defense or just keep putting in goals, I'm not worried. They got 51 seconds left of the game, rather the series. They will go up to 10-3 in the PEC with 3 weeks remaining. Like we were talking about earlier, Minnesota, Syracuse, and Ohio State, the last ones to play for the regular season. as we look to close this one out. The last 30 seconds now approaching.
Uzi in the corner from 30 seconds, gets the flip reset, passes it back. Preston not going to get there in time. Broncos still on the offense, still looking to find goals. Preston, a double back right now as Dirk.
Oh, it's a free double tap.
Opportunity. 7-2, Boise State.
Lethality out of Boise State. Dirt, though, an open double tap downrange. He's not going to let that one slide. He's going to take charge any chance he can. Now 7-2, 13 seconds remaining. Preston now from the sidewall and a fresh tank of boost. Flip reset, maybe looking for more. Gets around one. And with time ticking down, a formality of seconds, Boise State are going to take this one 3-0, repeating what they did in the fall. Maybe Dirt, though, with one more.
Okay.
It's going to touch the ground, and Boise State with a 7-2 is going to take game number 3 and secure the series.
It's a moment like this where you just say light work. A display of dominance coming out from the Broncos, and you could see the smiles on their faces. Hey, even when you put on the weights and try and hold them down by disconnecting Woozy, it does not stop them, man.
No, it does not. And we talked about a bounce-back week for them. I think this was everything that they needed.
Yeah, this is absolutely everything that they needed, especially going forward. I mean, we talked a little bit about the schedule that's ahead of them, having fantastic play, showing that, hey, you know, even some of those rough matches that they had going through this regular season is not affecting them, and they can rebound well. Kansas, I mean, domination like that shows it. They'll have Minnesota soon after. Syracuse is going to be one of the last big opponents looking in their crosshairs.
Yeah, Minnesota and Ohio, once again, middle of the pack towards the lower end of the standings. Syracuse now sitting at number 4, our last big challenge. We saw that last semester as well, as we took them all the way to 5, similar to how we took Michigan State to 5 a couple weeks ago. So I'm curious to see how that will turn out in 2 weeks.
Get your degree on a schedule that works for you. Boise State Extended Studies offers a variety of fully online courses and degrees to help you get your degree on your schedule. Visit boisestate.edu/extended studies for more details. Off of that note, fantastic win, fantastic bounce back coming out from the Broncos. We are going to take a moment to throw it over to a short break because we got an interview with the big man himself. It's going to be Dirt, though. We'll be right back.
My friends know me as Garrett, but I'm also Master Sergeant Raxter. This is my life in the Air National Guard.
Now earn up to 4 times the rewards with the ICCU Premier Rewards Visa credit card. It's the credit card from the credit union you love.
Since you guys have been in here, some things have changed. We've updated this place to be in its final form. New cabinets, new counters, all sorts of new stuff in here. This has turned into a place that wouldn't look out of place at an SEC or Big Ten football facility, and Dairy West has allowed us to have it here. We've taken a holistic approach to our player nutrition, and we're really thankful that Dairy West has made sure that our fueling station is the best in college esports and really at industry standard for any college athletic department.
Scott Matlock, underrated recruit, has built himself into one of the best defensive players in the Mountain West.
What would you do if you couldn't fail? Would you see every setback as a catalyst to keep going? This is the innovator's mindset, because innovation demands daring. Is finding thousands of ways that don't work, and the one that changes everything. It's when your unrelenting spirit sees the world's needs and says, I will create something better. So, what will you do? Will you let your genius run wild? Give yourself the space to be great? Set your sights on something even bigger, because we know changing the world doesn't happen by chance. It comes out of the blue.
Welcome back, everyone, to Spring PEC Rocket League, week number 4. Broncos versus the Jayhawks. Broncos going to go 3-0 against the Jayhawks. My name is Eric. I'm joined with my interviewee of the day, and that is going to be Durtho. Man, that was a fantastic game coming out, but we got to start breaking down little bits of that. I want to start with game 1. Woozy disconnecting. What was going on there, and what was the plan to buy time afterwards?
Woozy's PC froze. I think he was mining crypto and it just crashed on him. Lucrative business, that guy. But I don't know. Me and Preston, we've been in that scenario before. I think all of us have been in that scenario before. So it's just about maintaining control and letting them give the ball away. And, just holding off for as long as we can.
It was great defense, man.
Yeah. It was a good time for sure.
Next question I want to ask is, what I've been noticing on some of your kickoffs is that you're doing stuff where you're pre-jumping before anything even really happens. So is there some kickoff plays you guys have been running or some drills you've been running to prepare you for that?
Yeah, I don't want to give away too much.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay.
I would say
can keep you some
that
secrets.
we definitely have a handful of kickoffs, and depending on where the ball goes, hopefully in the way that we want it to, based on the kickoff, we could, make plays across the field, right after the kickoff, while the opponents are still getting back and getting boosts and trying to catch them off guard.
Some of those look sick, dude.
Yeah, they're clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Preston and I had a really good one across the map, and then I hit it down. That was a good shot.
So tell me about the bounce back from Baylor. Baylor, you guys went 3-1 against them. Baylor taking that one. Almost took it to overtime in game 4.
Yeah.
So, they're very high caliber players, but you're showing that you guys can really keep up with them. So what's the bounce back been looking like?
You just got to go back to VOD reviewing, hitting the whiteboard. And they're a great group of players, but we know definitely that we have the potential and definitely the ability to hopefully do better next time and beat them. They're a fantastic group of players, and you have to respect that. All the players in this conference are very well respected, So treat them with respect and play our game, and hopefully we could do better in Hawaii in a couple days. So
are you going to try and make it a similar story to last year with Michigan?
Yeah. We do really well on land, right? So we beat Michigan State at land in Syracuse. We went to New York. We won that, and we're animals. We feed off the energy of others, and we do really well under pressure, especially in person. So I'm excited for that.
So tell me a bit about the vibes going forward. Obviously, Vegas is not going to be too far off.
Mm-hmm.
You only have 3 more games after this. How's the mentality? How's the culture? How are things feeling?
Things are feeling good. You know, we definitely are growing independently as players. You know, last season we didn't do as well as we thought we would.
Yeah.
But this season is looking very promising. You know, we've been working really hard with Wayton and Doc to, you know, find our footing, you know, and really try to take this next season, you know, do really well.
I think Woozy doing his mining again accidentally took out our lights. But
Dude, this guy.
Before I do let you go, I want to know if you have any shout-outs.
Shout out the Boise State Rock League Twitter. Go follow, and we'll follow back maybe. I don't know if that's true or not.
That's Boise
I'll follow
State
back.
RL on Instagram and X. So, yeah, you heard the man. Give it a follow or else. But I don't want to take too much of your time, so I do got to let you go now. I want to thank you so much for this interview. And, yeah, I wish you best of luck on the final 3 games of the season.
Appreciate it, brother. You have a good one.
So, off that note, we're done for the day. So, thank you for joining us. Shout out to Prod. Shout out to everyone who works behind the scenes, the players, the coaches, the staff, and you for tuning in to our Ugly Mugs. So, we'll see you next time on PEC.